All right, from mid-second quarter on, it was a complete annihilation. Bama 52 and USC 6. We bring in Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama. Also catch his show The Way It Is on Tide 102.9 Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 Central Time. Stephen, you said 30-10. I thought that was a tad high. I was thinking Bama would lead by a touchdown at half, and then the superior depth would play a role in the second half of a 2-3 score win. So I was kind of in the same range as you, but 52-6. Wow.
Wow, indeed, Mark. Wow, to the highest degree. Alabama came out. It was a bit of a struggle in the first quarter to move the football, but then when everything kind of settled down, you saw the talent that is Jalen Hurts, the ability, the skill set, and most importantly, the defense that just made life very difficult for Max Brown. Two sacks for Jonathan Allen. Of course, a sack for Ryan Anderson, an interception return for a touchdown for Marlon Humphrey. It was an absolute onslaught, but it all kind of started with, Jalen Hurts going in the game. Yes, he had the interception. Yes, he had the fumble. But when he was able to be calm, you really saw the skill set and why people are so enamored with this young man.
I know it. So let's stay with Jalen Hurts. You summarized it very well right there. He didn't get the nod as the starting quarterback, but was brought in. Nick Saban obviously had a plan, regardless of how the offense looked early, that he was going to give plays to each quarterback. But once he got into the game and after that opening series for him fumble, he really put it all together and showed us the kind of skill set that he brings to the table. It was pretty impressive.
One of the plays, Mark, that I remember the most from that game was the first touchdown pass to our Darius Stewart. If you remember, he kind of has the similar rollout that Deshaun Watson had on his touchdown pass to Hunter Renfrow at the national championship game. Is basically taking the ball under center, rolling to the right, stepping up a couple of inches into the pocket, and letting the ball go downfield. And if you think of the term manifest destiny, I know that kind of deals with, the people conquering from east to west, but in this sense, it was the same thing that Deshaun Watson did to Alabama. And on that play, it's the same thing Jalen Hurts did to USC, rolling out to his right, stepping up in the pocket and firing the 39-yard dart to our Darius Stewart. And then not just that, the 71-yard touchdown pass where he anticipates the blitz coming from the right side, recognizes the hot reads, our Darius Stewart, gets the ball out, does not panic, just showed complete calmness. And you have to understand, the last time this young man played big-time football was high school, senior in high school. For him to come out against a traditional powerhouse in USC, a ranked team, in a big venue like AT&T Stadium, and play it the way he played, you got to tip your cap off to him.
This game reminded me very much, and I'll enjoy hearing your comparison here. It reminded me of the Michigan State game in this way. You had a very talented team on the other side, meaning Michigan State, meaning USC, but with specific flaws that were apparent going in, and they turned out to be the undoing of that particular team. And the game pretty much played out the same way. Michigan State and Alabama's defenses stonewalled each other for a quarter and into the second quarter. And then Calvin Ridley made the big play behind the Michigan State secondary to put the first touchdown on the board for Alabama. The Tide went up 10-0 against Michigan State. Connor Cook led the drive right before halftime to get Michigan State down to about the 10-yard line. He needed to complete that drive to get it to 10-7 and into the halftime of a competitive game to that point, threw the pick to make it 10-0 at half, and then the roof caved in. For USC, they had an opportunity after the two defenses stone cold each other for about the same amount of time in this game. Once it got to 17-3, there was the pass from Brown to Rogers where he almost made a diving catch inside the 5-yard line that could have gotten USC some life, got him to the break at 17-10, but he didn't hang on to the ball. It's a 17-3 game at halftime, and it's an onslaught from there.
And it wasn't just that, Mark. You go back to in that first quarter, USC, Cameron Smith, Adoree Jackson, Iman Marshall. These guys were flying to the football. They were eating the field. They were getting the negative plays in the backfield. USC had a 3-0 lead at that point, and you kind of got the feeling that as Alabama's defense started to push a little bit and make life hard for Max Brown, he started being a little bit too tentative in the pocket. Was firing the ball a little bit earlier than what he wanted to. You got to give Alabama's secondary a lot of credit for really taking away Juju Smith-Schuster. This was a young man that averaged 103.9 receiving yards per game last year. He was held to one catch for 9 yards. Are you kidding me? One catch for 9 yards for Juju Smith-Schuster, somebody that was on everybody's preseason All-American team and preseason accolade award watching list, was held to one catch for 9 yards against this Alabama secondary. So USC competed in the first quarter. It was able to shrink the field, tackle guys in space, and make plays, and also create pressure. But with the offense sputtering against Alabama's defense, allowed Alabama to kind of find its sea legs in that football game and get going.
I think this is less about USC than it is more about Alabama. These USC kids that were highly touted, like a Juju Smith-Schuster, Adoree Jackson, Iman Marshall, all the guys that we talked about, these guys are going to be playing in the NFL. And they're probably going to be impact players, if not stars in the NFL. They are that good. This is more about Alabama being that good as a unit on both sides of the ball, and USC still not being quite up to par as a program on that same level as Alabama. That was pretty obvious. The big surprise for me, because USC was thin along the defensive front, I expected Alabama to take control running the football and USC having issues getting to the quarterback. What surprised me is that even though Alabama's defensive front is so good, and even though they lost a couple key contributors there, dominant players up front, that the USC offensive line is considered an extremely airtight offensive line, and they were just overwhelmed.
They were absolutely overwhelmed. Jonathan Allen had 2 sacks in the ball game, and here's another guy that wants to go after that Derek Thomas sack record of 27 sacks in a single season at Alabama. He had 2 Saturday night. Ryan Anderson, people talk a lot about Tim Williams, but Ryan Anderson just as good, a senior this year, could attack the quarterback. Tim Williams made some disruptive plays in the backfield. And you look at Reuben Foster, this man dropping weight, flying sideline to sideline, blowing people up. Marlon Humphrey showed that he's not just a coverage corner. He can be physical. He can come downhill, stop the run game. This is an Alabama defense that looks to be the most athletic defense Alabama's had under Nick Saban in quite some time.
Hey, Stephen, considering what we saw out of the quarterback position on Saturday night, what do you expect going forward? Do you think this is still a competition between Barnett and Hurts, or is Hurts taking over the job?
In Saban's press conference today, he's still doing the two-man thing, so you may see Hurts first, and again, you may not see Hurts first. He's doing the two-man thing, but from what I saw Saturday night, the way that team just responded more to Jalen Hurts under center and in the shotgun, I think truly this is his team. But Nick Saban's not going to say that, because he's going to want to make sure that these guys keep level-headed, these guys keep focused on what's going on. So it will be a two-man thing on Saturday for Alabama against Western Kentucky.
And that's definitely an angle that you hit on that can't be quantified. There's talent, there's ability to grasp the offense and knowledge and intelligence of the game, but then there's that intangible, and it's not necessarily the fault or the benefit of the quarterback. It's just an intangible thing where teammates sometimes respond to one guy and not necessarily the other. And it's not like they're intentionally trying harder or less. It's just something that certain guys have where the team rallies around them and really plays for them. And it's just something that can't be quantified. Stephen, if you had a chance to take a look at Western Kentucky, do you know anything about them at this point?
I'm actually studying them right now as of tonight, but this is a team that puts up points. Of course, it had Sean Daugherty last year at quarterback, somebody that really was able to sling the pigskin well for the Hilltoppers. This is a team that can put up points, a team that has a very difficult offense to contain with. So Saban's not taking this team lightly. I'm not taking this team lightly because Western Kentucky, you don't watch it. They can score, and they can score at will. I watched them last year against Vanderbilt, and they were able to put up points on Vandy. Now, Vandy had a chance to win that game. Of course, Johnny McCrary throwing that pick at the back of the end zone, losing that game. But Western Kentucky can score the football. This is a good football team.
Yeah, they're a team that's given some big teams fits in recent years and made postseason play and scored, like you say, a ton of points, particularly in the passing game with Doherty at quarterback last year. All right, Stephen M. Smith, touchdown Alabama. And also, you got to catch his show the way it is, 6 to 9 Central Time on Tide 102.9. If you don't have it, you're not in the area, you got to download the app to hear Stephen talk Alabama, to talk the SEC, college football, and beyond. Right, Stephen?
Hey, all day.
All right. Man, we know you're on the go, Stephen. You just came from the Nick Saban presser and have a number of things to do, so we appreciate you stopping by.
No problem, Mark. Thank you.